left.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Who is this clown?
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark. Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow. Wow. Welcome
Wow.
to issue 103 of Two Fat Guys Pull List.
Feels like it's just 100.
Yeah, like 3 episodes ago. I can count. Anyway, welcome everybody to Two Fat Guys Pull List. This is issue 103 or episode 103, whichever you like, whichever version of how we introduce that you like. That is what it is. We've got a pretty short week, so this might be a shorter show. It may not go. We would assume it wouldn't go past an hour, but we'll see.
We'll see. We like to gab. We got the
last two episodes have gone almost 2 hours long, so
no, I can't do that.
No, but next week for sure. Anyway,
no. Next week is vacation.
Oh, that's right. So, we gotta talk about that later. Anyway, let's talk about our show's sponsor. But before I get to that, let us know down in the comments, what was your pick of the week this week? We gotta know. Anyway, let's talk about our show's sponsor, and that is our LCS Collected Comics and Games. That's here in the DFW area. They are an amazing comic book store that we love so much. That's where we get our books. And they've got a website called brainycomics.com. So please head on over to brainycomics.com, and when you get there, it'll look like this. Over there, you can buy exclusive and variant covers, bundles, bad idea books, new comics, mystery bags, back issues, graphic novels, games, toys and collectibles, and even trading cards.
Oh my boy.
And just a heads up, bad idea comic books are coming back. Round 2, year 2, it's happening. So if you're looking to jump on that train, make sure to hit your LCSs up if they're a bad idea book vendor. I think Monday or Tuesday is the last day to pre-order books if you want to get all of them. So check that out. Anyway, so when you go to brainycomics.com and you buy some stuff, after you get done perusing, putting stuff in your cart, before you leave, we'd love for you to go into that search bar up there, type in Two Fat Guys Pull List, and this will pop up. It is our Two Fat Guys Pull List upgrade or premium upgrade. And what that does is if you buy the upgrade for $8, that gets you one exclusive and or variant cover book in your cart, and or when you get your shipment of goodies in the mail, you'll have one surprise in there. Little mystery surprise. Now, if you do the $15 one, you get 2 of those covers. And you may be asking, well, what do those look like? Well, right here on the front page, here are some, a handful of newest variants and exclusives that Ron has in the shop. You may get one of these, and if you notice, like Peach Momoko's Spider-Verse number 5, it's $15. You might get that one, or you might get that Mandalorian there, the version for $30. So the value is definitely there. And also just know that when you do this little upgrade, Ron tends to, try to match what you've bought. If you bought, some Star Wars books, he's going to try to put some Star Wars exclusive variants in there. If you've bought, X-Men or, whatever you've picked up, he'll try to kind of match that. So just kind of be in tune to that. I might, the fact that I said you might get that Spider-Verse, who knows? You may or may not. I'm not going to say you're going to get it indefinitely, but there is a chance. So head on over to
there's a chance.
There's a chance. So head on over to brainycomics.com, do some shopping, put in the Two Fat Guys Pull List upgrade in your cart, and just wait for the fun to show up at your house. All right. After that, we have to talk about our subscription our sub goal giveaway, right? We're in the middle of that. We're trying to hit 750 subscribers. When we do, I think you guys know exactly what we're going to talk about. We got to talk about it anyway. We're giving away this CGC 9.4 Silver Surfer Black issue number 1, second printing with Noel on the cover. We got to give this thing away, guys. We got to hit 750. Got to hit 750 subscribers. So let's do it, guys. Let's hit that 750. Nate, you're frozen. And we'll make it happen, guys. Also, obviously, the other thing we got to talk about is the sub goal we're going to give away when we hit 1,000. If we can hit this 1,000 mark, you know what we're giving away. The CBCS graded 9.8 Original Sin tie-in Amazing Spider-Man number 4, the first appearance of Silk. Let's do it, guys. Let's give away this book at 1,000 subscribers. But we got to hit it. So 750, then 850, 950, then a short jump to 1,000. And then we can start thinking about giving away other stuff, right? But we got to hit those goals first. So go ahead, make sure if you have not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, give this stream a like. Obviously, if you're watching this as a past episode, all those things still apply. So please help us out. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about before we get into the show? I know we're going to talk about She-Hulk, episode 3. I want to say I am all better now from COVID.
No more cooties.
No more cooties. Definitely lost my taste and smell, and got it. I'm getting it back as we speak. I'm probably at about, I'd say about 70-75%. And dude, what a weird experience of like losing my taste and smell for like 4 days, and then it comes back and I feel like a completely new, like I'm like, oh, this is what stuff smells like, you know, like I had some chips and salsa today and I was like, oh, it was so good. And then we got pizza, and like it was just the best thing I've ever tasted. It was like,
pizza,
the nectar from the gods. Sarah made like a sweet potato salad today for lunch, and like, dude, it was bussin'. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Grace is glad you're good, bro. Yeah, dude. Anyway, let's get to chat really quick. What up, Calvin? What up, Joe? Joe says, I only read my X books and Amazing Fantasies. I wouldn't say I really have a pick of the week, but I did enjoy most of the Spider-Man mini-stories. We'll get to that. Calvin says, congratulations on beating it. Yeah, I beat the shit out of that thing. Yeah, go get it.
I win.
Go and get. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into our, She-Hulk episode 3 review real quick. It's about 5-10 minutes. Obviously, we had to pick the best part of the entire show, right? Which was the post-credit scene. Let's just get this out of the way. This show is firing on all cylinders, and this episode specifically, I give it all the accolades, 10 out of 10, whatever you want to call it. They wrote this episode knowing how much bullshit it was going to get reviewed by like fake comic book fanboys, right?
Right.
And then like the comic skaters, right?
And
they addressed it in the issue, and I thought it was fantastic. They're literally calling out everybody and anybody that's really never done any research and realizes that She-Hulk is a character from the 80s, right? This wasn't just some idea that Disney brought up, like, you know what, we're gonna have a female Hulk. Let's go. Let's get woke, guys. No, right. This character has been here forever, and they're just literally making fun of that entire group, and I am here for it. Overall, I really enjoyed the episode. I love seeing some very random ass characters, the Wrecking Crew that showed up in this episode, and I like that we're like Jen obviously is really fighting the idea of being anything but a lawyer, right? And like clearly that's we're obviously heading towards the trajectory of she will be a superhero, and undoubtedly she will be part of the Avengers at some point. She's gonna be their Hulk. I loved it. And then obviously this post-credit scene was just everything. And I love what I love about it is all the controversy. I love how everybody's getting pissed about it, or that a lot of people are getting pissed about it. But I'm also liking all of the Marvel fans that are just on it, that are just like, this is amazing. Thank you, Disney. Thank you, Marvel. Like, this show is exceeding my expectations. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I would say you say it's firing on all cylinders. I think it's missing one very small one cylinder, and that is runtime.
Oh, 100%.
Abysmally short. It's so good that I think I'd like a little bit more going. But everything that we're getting from it is very good. So in that regards, I do like it a lot.
I totally agree, and I think I've said that before. Like, the runtime is too short. And I think when this show ends, obviously I'm going to probably watch it all the way through, just binge it again. But I think a lot of people are going to be just waiting for when she's going to show up, right, in an MCU movie or other show. And I think I hope She-Hulk sticks around for a while. I really hope. I mean, I think she will. I think she'll stick around for Phase 5 and Phase 6, obviously, maybe even longer. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm here for it. Joe says everyone wants to whine in this. You got people mad about her being a feminist, and then people getting mad of her being disrespectful to women. Toxic fans need to go back to the negative zone. Totally agree.
I agree.
I don't know. It was just a good episode, and what's great about this is like Wednesday, super pumped for new comics, right? And then the next day it's like, and then I get a She-Hulk. Right. Digging the hell out of that. And then obviously when we get closer to, I can't remember if it's in October, I don't know when Andor shows up for Star Wars, but it's just like show after show after show. So stoked. But She-Hulk is killing it. Guys, just loosen up, man. Like, that's how the comics are too. Just chill, relax, have a good time. That's what it's about. I wish I could show that TikTok that I sent you of that guy that's making fun of all the people that are pissed off about it. The negative, the guy that's pretending to be like a shit fan. Yeah. Oh my god, I need to put that in our Instagram stories. It's so.
Are you talking about the guy that's spinning around the toilet?
Yes.
Yeah, you sent me that.
He's like, what does he say? He's like 30 years of continuity, and I've never read any of the comics.
Yeah, I've never read a single one. Yeah,
I don't read
30 years of continuity and hundreds of issues, and I haven't read a single one. It's like, yep, we can tell. We can tell. Don't worry.
Anyway, we highly recommend watching She-Hulk. If you're not watching, you're missing out, man. That's all I gotta say. All right, well let's kick off the show with their X-Books, and oh my god, I cannot wait for this juicy take. Here it comes. First up, we have X-Men issue number 14, a Judgment Day tie-in. Put that in parentheses.
Yeah, put that in parentheses.
So let's before we get to the really controversial stuff. Let's talk about Iceman. Dude, gets his day in the sun.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. I think Gary Jerry killed it. I think he wrote Iceman perfectly. I think giving him the voice that he has was great. I was a little confused at the beginning. Like, it was like, we're writing this story about Iceman. And it just felt like the transition between them talking about the newspaper piece, into what actually happened. I was like, wait, what are we doing here? But then finally my brain was like, maybe it was COVID. Maybe it was COVID brain. But I was a little confused at that part.
Well, the issue was that they were talking about Iceman, and then they don't jump to Iceman first. They jump to a missile going into the sun, and magic, and Cyclops invading a pirate or an alien spaceship. And you're like, this has nothing to do with what we were just talking about at all. And wait, I thought Judgment Day was happening. What's going on? I was like, I looked back and I was like, it says Judgment Day, and the last issue was a tie-in. I was like, maybe this is a flashback that's going to have repercussions for Judgment Day, and this is just a few pages of repercussions. And then I look at the title page, and it says, this issue takes place after the events of Judgment Day number 3. And then that was strike one.
Strike one. Yeah, so it definitely felt disconnected, right? And then we get through the whole, Iceman saving the day, killing it, right? What's the name of the is it Firestorm? What's the name of the other X-Men member that used to be an Avenger?
Firestar. Firestar.
I like how she's immediately part of the team, and she gets a costume change, but we didn't really Like, I know we got a character redesign on that, and then just like didn't show up. Whatever. Okay, let's get to the bit, right? Let's get to the juicy bit, because I can already see it's going on in the chat, and it's making me laugh. So, when this issue came out and I saw the cover, I personally was like, there's no fucking way. Like, there's no way that they're actually gonna do something bad to Cyclops. And I was fucking right, right? Cyclops goes up to the Celestial and goes, bitch, you ain't judging me, right? And he essentially says, I'm a good dude, and the only person that can really judge me is my wife, right? And the minute I read that, I was like, oh my god, Nate is going to have a stroke. Like, he's literally gonna die. So go ahead, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if we need to. I do want to acknowledge that I think the middle part of this story is actually really good. I agree with you that I think Iceman got a lot of respect in this issue and was played up well. I thought this was a really fun X-Men as a team issue. Like, this isn't like this book, even when Hickman was running it, felt like, oh, this is the front running X-Men book of the line, but it doesn't really have anything to do with X-Men the team. Then when Jerry took it over, it's like, okay, we're pretending like it has to do with the team, but it really doesn't. This issue felt like it was about X-Men the team. And I thought that was great. They worked well together. They did all that. But the two pages of the issue that made this a tie-in to Judgment Day is what officially had me, and I am not joking, as soon as I finished this book, I pulled up Facebook and messaged the shop and told them to pull it from my son. And I was thinking about Jerry Duggan's Iron Man, had actually already picked up issue 1, went ahead and told them to take that off too. I actually don't know the next time I'll read another Jerry Duggan book.
Wow.
And it's because, and I Joe, I'm sorry, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying anything is fact here. But I mean, Cyclops is truly one of the biggest pieces of shit that has been a hero in Marvel history. And the fact that we're judging him as good when people like Cap, and I'm not even a big Captain America fan, but Cap is bad, Cap gets a thumbs down, and Cyclops gets a thumbs up, that's fucked. That's so fucked. That's absolutely bullshit. Like, this dude is a actual literal scumbag. Like, you don't...
Keep going.
You don't do what he did with Madeline Pryor and his son and Jean Grey. I don't care if it was in the 80s. Like, that continuity is still so important. And to me, Cyclops is not a good guy. He has always been second nature to pretty much everyone that he's around. And most of the time, he's not very good to the people that he's around. And for him to walk in there and have swagger that he's never earned, his swagger exists because of Jean Grey, not because of his own deed. Like, he literally goes in there and props himself up on his wife and says, "You can't judge me." Fuck that shit. And the Celestial's like, "Oh yeah, I love this big man energy. Here you go."
The Celestial was like, wait, what? What? Okay,
I'm pretty sure he was just like, "Just get the fuck out of here, dude." Like,
yeah,
no. I know that this is an extreme reaction, but it is truly how I feel. I've never liked Cyclops. I understand it's a bias.
But you have the receipts. I'll give you this. You have the receipts to why you don't like him. You're not this person that's like, I don't like Cyclops because he's just fucking lame. Like,
yeah, I don't like his visor. Right.
Shield. You don't say that.
Like, I don't care about his powers. Whatever.
Yeah, you have receipts. So I will give you that. Like, I'm not gonna say you're wrong in that, but you're wrong.
So this is my last issue of X-Men.
Well,
I don't care if the next one is Judgment Day or not. It is so done.
Let's get to a little bit of let's get to some of the chat. So Tennis says, not gonna lie, X-14 was Cyclops being judged was a waste and makes the whole idea of being judged weak. I thought we were gonna go through Cyclops' whole history of being the good. And he says, boy to the violent mutant revolution. Joe, this issue really showed how Cyclops is the best. He walks right up to the judge and punked him out with his wife, and of course,
no, he hid behind his wife like the bottom that he is.
Celestials love violent mutant revolutions. Everybody loves Cyclops. This issue proves it. Thank you, Kelvin.
Okay.
Grace said that's why Cyclops is the GOAT. The GOAT!
You know what?
Exclamation.
Fine, guys. Fine.
No, let's keep going. Joe, Cyclops uses his battle instincts to take out all those baddies with his beam. Let's go, Slim Summers. Smile. Calvin, his visor does look like a goat's iris. I mean, yeah, it's still pretty cool though. I'll be growing up when I watched the cartoon, right, and then when I played, that game cabinet right over there when it was X-Men versus Street Fighter. Like I don't know, dude. It was just badass, And I get it, I didn't know the history of that stuff, so my bias is towards more visual and more leader centric, right? So that's just that. Joe shows Summer is a better leader than Steve.
I mean,
Cap?
Using Steve is probably not the best example because I also don't have very high esteem for him either. But
and you and Tendu are buddies.
I think those are all very good examples.
Yeah, killed Xavier and Proxy helped Namor flood Wakanda, wanted to kill his past self, a terrorist. Anyway, I Calvin says I like him for the reasons you hate him.
What Grayson said, in all seriousness, Cyclops is a mutant liberator. Mutants are free, and he is given everything for said liberation. That's why he's gotten the positive judgment. What at any point has Cyclops given away for mutant liberation? And I'm asking this genuinely, not as a challenge, because I have not read. I'm pretty sure that you are more read in the X-Men comics than I am. I'm pretty sure most people in this chat are. So I'm genuinely curious because it seems like dude's living the most chill fucking life he could ever live, having threesomes with Wolverine and Jean Grey on the moon while living on the moon. Sounds like a good life. I mean, doesn't seem like he gave up shit. He still got his daddy down on Krakoa, his proxy dad, and he still got his damn dad in space too. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like him.
Okay, all right. Well, Marvel does love strong male leaders. Steve, Summers, Reed, Icarus, and it shows.
It's true.
Nintendo says, "LOL here, praising Cyclops over Magneto when he's a radical." Dude, there's when you've got that much continuity, right, and you got that many comic books, it's hard, it's hard. All right, well, let's move on to the next book we got, and that's Knights of X, issue number 5. I don't know what we're doing, and I rarely criticize this book, but man, this issue felt like, the first 4 issues we were building to something.
Yeah.
And then we got to this issue, and it was like, no, we're done. It just...
Well, I would literally be willing to put down 4 figures, and I know that sounds silly because that's not a lot of money, but it is a lot of money to me. I'd be willing to bet $1,000 that this is at minimum 2 issues shoved into one. At minimum.
Yeah.
Because of it getting canceled. Literally, we get them connecting Krakoa and Otherworld back together again, and we get this as a battle, which awesome, amazing, great page. Yep. And then literally you're looking at it, you're like, oh man, everyone's here. Both Wolverines are here. Juggernaut's here. The whole X-Men team, that's awesome. And then it literally says, one storybook shaking battle later. And that's it. Battle's done. Battle's over. Literally the whole thing. I'm sure that this was all planned out as something bigger. And they were like, hey, Teeny.
Cut it.
You didn't sell 130,000 copies each issue, so you're fucking done after 2 issues. And you're like, okay, well, cool.
That's a waste of time. I don't know, dude. Yeah, and it just felt... And then the thing at the end was like we didn't even get like when Hickman's run ended, it was like, and we're going into Inferno. All we got was Betsy will be back. It's like, well, who, where, what, when? Is she gonna get her own book, or is she just gonna be on a team now, or what are we doing?
We don't know. I haven't heard.
For as much praise as we give this book, I'm very disappointed, and I don't put it on Teeny. I put it on editorial in the Marvel office, because you're right. I think there's 2 different things going on in this book, and it's pretty evident that we're just kind of like, all right, let's get this over with so we can move on to the next book that we can sell, aka Sabretooth and the Exiles or whatever the fuck that
Right.
is. Which again, I'm going to read that, but Joe says, will there be a spinoff of Captain Britain? Supposedly there will be, but we just don't know. Like, we just don't. There hasn't been any confirmation. I would have assumed when this book was released on Wednesday that we would have gotten something from Teeny on Twitter or Marvel on Twitter, like, hey, here's the next book. But I think whatever after Judgment Day ends and we get whatever the next season that will be in the Krakoan era, right? Because we'll get it in the spring. So in January or February, that's when we'll find out if there's going to be a Captain Britain book or not.
Probably.
So we'll have to wait and see. But overall, pretty disappointed, and I'm not happy about that because I really like this book.
Yeah,
unlike
I mean,
Tendu.
Yeah, this book itself, I would give like a 2 out of 5 or whatever. I would still give the series overall a 4 out of 5, though. I still think the series was really good.
I think it had promise.
I liked the overall theme, and I felt the first 4 issues were pretty cohesive on what they were trying to do. In this book, I still feel like I understood what they were trying to do, but we just were like, okay, we've got 6 different strings that we've got to tie up, and we've got 21 pages or however many pages to do it. So
right,
that was what was unfortunate, but that's still, still makes this issue, regardless of whose fault it is, makes this issue pretty.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. Did you end up reading this or not? No. Okay. Again. So the last issue had nothing to do with Judgment Day, right? Nothing. And it's very evident that this issue, that Judgment Day was shoved down this book's throat. So Kraven continues this hunt for Krakoan mutants because he's always hunting, whatever. And it's continuing in this book, right? Shit, I don't even remember how it ended. I think it ended with, it's just Kraven's going after him. Here's the part where it kind of, I was like, dude, this is stupid. As when we catch up with Kraven in issue 30, he's in some kind of Arctic setting. Well, he's in the North Pole where the celestial god is. So in this book, after he's killed the polar bear that he's wearing, he, for some fucking reason, goes to the celestial who's in the North Pole judging things. He gets naked, right? And he's doing this whole monologue about being a clone and never actually being born and never properly being basically a human. And so he goes to the celestial to be judged so that he can feel some inkling of humanity. And what does the celestial do? Doesn't judge him.
Cool.
Like, just kind of looks at him like, all right, cool. Whatever. and Patty, other than that, like, I actually liked the book. If it wasn't just not contained as a Judgment Day book, I think it's totally misleading. Because the other stuff, like the Deadpool stuff in this book, was way better than issue 30. 31, Deadpool puts himself back together in Kraven's his cabin, right? And Kraven's like, you must have something important to tell me if you're this hard to kill. What is it? And he's like he looks at Kraven and he goes, don't fuck with the X-Force. And then that's all he does, and then he gets chopped up again. That was fun, right? So my main issue with this book is take the Judgment Day. Don't even put the Judgment Day stuff in there. It's pointless. Let's continue with this whole idea of Kraven just hunting the X-Men, right? And going after Beast, and that. I would much rather respect that than trying to push and force the Judgment Day thing in here, because it's misleading to anybody that wants to genuinely read the Judgment Day books and then like, oh, look, he gets kind of judged. Okay, whatever. Like, this book has nothing to do with the event. Take it off. Just take it off. So
I get that.
That's me. Deadpool's hand slowly climbing the shelf had me dying laughing, and him running with his head riding the hand was too much. No, Joe, all the Deadpool stuff is great. And then I looked at solicitations. Pool's gonna be in this book for a little bit, which is cool, right? And so the book ends with Kraven going through one of the Krakoan gates with Deadpool, his body with him so that he can cross through the gate. So like Kraven's about to go wreck shit in Krakoa. So that's gonna be fun. But Deadpool as a whole will be in X-Force for a little bit. Like I think, what did we just get? October solicitations, or was it November? October?
November. The cover for November's X-Force is they're in space, and Deadpool is literally like they're all wearing like X suits, space suits, and they're in space. I'm like, yep, I want to read that. Just don't put this in the event. Anyway, Patty says, always great to have a Headpool and cousin and Deadpool hand. No, I totally agree. Kraven died in Grim Hunt. I didn't know he was cloned. Must have happened in the Amazing Spider-Man run with the clones. I don't know. I can't keep up. Like Kraven to me is, I don't care. He's one of the, he's like Ant-Man to Nate. Like I just don't give a shit. Joe, November has no Thor. Sad news. Yeah, it's not surprising. It's not surprising. So Joe said earlier, did we see that November doesn't have Thor? Has there been a time that Marvel had to jump in and give a book it's a story? Yes, that has definitely happened for a lot. I can also guarantee you that's not happening here. Donnie, or I feel like that is, you don't need to worry about that. Donnie's, whatever the hell's going on with him, and he's been like less active around even on like Twitter. He was just on Twitter last week and was like, oh, they were talking about the Thanos one shot that's coming out, and people were like, Donnie, do we need to pay attention to this for your run? And he was like, fuck yeah, like this is gonna have huge implications for what's going on in my run. So
isn't Cantwell writing that?
I think it's a collection, isn't it? I think there's like multiple. It's just like 3 or 4.
Maybe it is. I thought I saw Cantwell as. I got the solicitation.
Maybe his name is attached to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I got the solicitation from the LCS, and like it was only his name, so maybe they just put that in there. But
let's see.
LOL got that Addams Family reference wrong. Either way, whatever. Like I'm still picking up X-Force because I genuinely like. If I had to pick between the 2 Benjamin Percy books that he's writing for X-Men, it's gonna be Wolverine that I'm dropping after the Judgment Day tie-in. I'm gonna stick with X-Force because I genuinely like it, and I want to know what happens to Kid Omega. Like we need to get back to that storyline because that dude's dead, and we need to figure out what's going on. So I like that. Yep. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that. Yep. All right. Let's go. Next up, we have Amazing Fantasies starring Spider-Man, and this is my pick of the week.
That's Jim's pick of the week.
Yeah, I just I wish this had been the main cover. The Peach Momoko cover to me is the best. That being said, all the stories in here felt very genuine. I really enjoyed it. Joe says, I can't believe I'm pulling more X books than Nate. Yeah, shit happens. I genuinely liked it. I thought it was really fun. I loved all the stories in it. I really, put the Jonathan Hickman story aside. That's a given. That story was going to be great because it's Hickman, right? Mm-hmm. And it had Chichetto on the artwork. So, like, 1-2 punch. Fucking amazing. The story that really got me outside of that was the story of Parker as a 60-year-old Spider-Man still fighting crime and unfortunately standing up Mary Jane for a date night for his birthday. Like, that whole story was just really fun. I really enjoyed it. I think there was maybe one story that I just didn't connect on like a really good level, and that was the one where he was mentoring a new superhero named Rhino. Other than that, this was a really fun book. It just felt genuine. It obviously didn't feel rushed. All these writers obviously had time to write their stories, and the artists had their times to write, to finish their artwork. But what it did for me the most, and this is probably going to be a controversial thing that I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. And that's what this proves to me. And this is not a dig on Zeb Wells' writing at all. Okay. But to me, you have a well-crafted stories in this book with really, really good artwork, right? and again, I'll go back to it. Junior Junior does not need to be on Spider-Man, and Spider-Man does not have to be a twice-a-month release book. I'm just saying. Like, I think all of us would be totally fine with having a once-a-month Spidey book that not only had kick-ass writing, but also had phenomenal artwork. How many artists right now are not on books that we like, Nate, that could be on the Spider-Man book? And what did you say? You said something this month like you could have a 1-2 punch with artists and they could alternate, right?
Have Valerio Sheedy and RB Silva just going back and forth. Marte Gracia coloring both of them. It would be literally the absolute pinnacle of Marvel style and what Marvel House is supposed to look like.
So let's put it, and we'll ask chat this, and I'm going to ask you this. What is Marvel's Batman or Superman character? Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean that's not a question. That's like a factual thing.
That's a fact, right? Because not only is he
if we're going by like sales numbers and shit.
Right. Like, not only is the book being released twice a month, we're going to have another Dan Slott book. There's the Savage Spider-Man book or whatever, that was from Nonstop Spider-Man. There's the that Spider-Man mini that's coming out where he's fighting the Demon Bear. Like, it's clearly Batman or Superman. Like, it's that same business model, right? Like, there's so many Spider-Man books coming out right now. Why wouldn't you take the time and effort to have the right artist on it? Or do what Superman and Batman does. There are two different comics dealing with the same character, right? So technically we only get Chip Zdarsky's Batman once a month, right? But then we also get Detective Comics. The same thing can be done with Spider-Man. It could literally be Amazing Spider-Man and then do Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. Or The Spider-Man, whatever you want to call it. I think it would be cool if it was the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man, and that would be like your Detective Comics or your action comics. I'm just saying, like, I'm incredibly frustrated, but this is my pick of the week because this is genuinely awesome, and the artwork backs up the writing. The Hickman story, top fucking notch, and then you put Chichetto on the artwork. Game over. Just game over. It was super fun. So if you didn't pick up Amazing Fantasy starring Spider-Man, I highly recommend it if you're just even the slightest hint of a Spidey fan. And if you're not, I think you should pick it up. I think it's just a good character study for Spider-Man. It was just really fun. I thought it was good. Joe, my best story was Spider-Man's stopping his nobody, and Spider-Man reminds him as long as he keeps breaking the law, he'll always be somebody. Yeah, I enjoyed that too. Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, they did that a lot in the 90s. Patty, I'm not a fan of how they use issue 1000 to try to sell it like that. I get you. Spider-Man is most popular, but I don't know why Marvel doesn't make Spider-Man the character to write. I feel like you have to be top level writer to write Batman. Looks like they know Spider-Man will bring in the money and they don't care. Yeah, no, I agree. No. It's unfortunate, but like, just imagine how much more money, if we got an Amazing Spider-Man book that was written by Jonathan Hickman and Chichetto on the artwork, and it was once a month, that book would sell out. There would be second, third, and fourth printings of every fucking issue, and it.
Yeah.
So just do it. Just do it. All right, next up we have Ant-Man issue number 2. We are dealing with what's considered the worst Ant-Man apparently in Marvel history. I don't know much about it, but clearly we're doing this jumping through time to recruit Ant-Man. And that's really all, we just get a story within itself of this certain Ant-Man. And I liked it. I thought it was fun. I'm going to continue to read this one because it's a 4-issue mini. It's Al Ewing. And just being able to see him jump writing styles, I think is really fun. And I'm just intrigued to see where we're going. Like, is it going to be Kang that's going to be the end result of this? Why is this future Ant-Man trying to recruit all these other Ant-Men. And, we get a little history lesson, as we always do with Al Ewing in this, and I thought it was really fun. We were dealing with Skrull, and there being someone pretending to be another Ant-Man in this book, which was really fun. So the end game is still a mystery, and I'm digging it. And this just proves that I really, 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 really fucking love Al Ewing's writing, even when I don't understand it. So Joe says, I got halfway through and laid it down. I'll collect the rest and binge it. Yeah, that's a good idea. It's clearly, it's a niche, right? But I just feel like Ewing's going to do something crazy at the end of it. So I'm interested.
I'll do something with this character, right?
Thunderbolts. How'd it go? Uh-oh.
Didn't get this one.
You didn't get this one?
No, didn't realize it came out this week. It wasn't in my list.
Well, let's double check. League. Please hold.
Sorry.
Sorry, dudes.
There it is.
So you
didn't
just
get it. Honestly, I didn't even go to the wall. I just went in and grabbed it.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you need to get it. Read it. Tell us how.
I'm very curious. It's got. If anyone read this, tell us what you thought. Just to give us
a blanket. 1 through 10. Let us know.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. Tell us about Obi-Wan then.
You mean Apocalypse Now?
Right.
Heart of Darkness. This was about the same as what we've been getting from this book. It's not blowing me away storytelling wise or character revolutions or anything like that, but it's still kind of neat. Essentially, Obi-Wan and Anakin get pulled off the front lines and for a secret mission that no one will tell them what's going on. No point do they have any clue what's going on until they get in front of one of the biggest, commanders of the fleet, and they're basically like, "Hey, do you remember this bad guy? I mean, this guy that was on our team, and he was at the Battle of some bridge." And Obi-Wan's like, "Yeah, I remember that. That was probably the worst battle of the war. Like super bloody, tons of people died. The planet gets destroyed. It was really, really horrible." And the guy's like, "Yeah, so we think that dude's gone insane and has turned himself into a in-between mercenary where he doesn't give a shit and he's just killing everybody. Doesn't matter whose side he's on. He's just trying to screw the war up by assassinating higher-ups on both sides.
Gotcha.
And so we think we finally found out where he is. We need you two to go in and kill him." And Anakin's like, yo, no. Like, this guy's a good guy. He's done tons of good shit. I know he might be gone wrong, but Jedis are pretty good at taking marching orders, but we literally don't take marching orders from you. We're not going to go kill him. And Obi-Wan's basically like, I can kind of see how this is going to play out. We're probably going to have to kill him, Anakin. And of course, Anakin's like, fuck no, we're not doing it. He, like, throughout the whole issue, he just keeps bringing it up. Like, we're not killing him. I don't care what you say. We're not killing him. We're not going to do it. So they find him on a swamp jungle, and he has convinced the locals that he's
Messiah.
Not a messiah, but almost deity level. And he's even got himself a nice little temple deep out in the swamp. Literally, there's a picture of him sitting on a chair that's kind of like a throne. I mean, this is literally ripped out of Apocalypse Now. Like, it's I think it's almost like a still. Like, he just looked at the still and used it as reference while he was drawing this page. And he basically says, at one point, this sword that he's holding is made out of clone troopers' bones.
Jesus.
And he basically says, like, the light doesn't exist, the Force isn't real, it's all hell, and everyone sucks, basically. Jeez. And they try to talk him down, and of course they're not able to. And he charges Obi-Wan, and it looks like Obi-Wan's not going to defend himself. Like, it looks like he's just gonna let himself get hit by this bone sword or something, and then at the very last second, Anakin grabs his lightsaber and stabs him in the heart. and puts him down. And Anakin says, "I didn't mean to," which doesn't make any sense because, like, yeah, you did. You didn't do anything wrong. You did the right thing.
Right.
I was really irritated by that choice of words. I didn't mean to. It's like, what the fuck did you mean to do?
Right.
Like, you did exactly what you should have. And basically, the guy's like, "You helped me. I thought the only way to get back to the light was to do it this way, and now I see the light." And dies. And so, honestly, I'm sure it was still like a decent story. It's interesting to learn all of these like specific stories that take place in the Clone Wars. Obviously, that's like a treasure trove that Disney Star Wars era loves to play in constantly. But I don't know a lot of I don't think there's anything of consequence from this issue that we really learned.
So will you continue to pick it up when we got 2 more issues left?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course. Not bad in any sort of way. Just sort of like, meh. I did think the Apocalypse Now thing was pretty cool. Like, I thought that was neat. To me, it added depth to a story that otherwise might have felt slightly more shallow. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool.
That's it.
All right, well, jumping over to DC with Superman World of Apocalypse issue number 1. Am I pushing the button here, or are we just...
Sure. Just go ahead and push the button.
Yeah,
Pick of the week.
Snake's pick of the week.
Joe, I am too. Cantwell, man, after Iron Man. Oh, I looked it up, by the way. Thanos is 4 writers. You got Cantwell, Kyle Stark, J. Michael Straczynski, and Torun Grombeck, all each writing stories. Yeah. So,
I'll take it.
Obviously, missing Donny Cates.
Well, yeah.
But the solicitation very specifically says this is supposed to be a bridge between Kieran Gillen's Eternals and Thor.
Okay.
Superman. It's here. It's finally here. The end. You get. I want you to tell me, in the most general terms, how do you think this ends?
Superman is able to stop the Mongol. Right? Dethrone him, if you will.
Sure.
Sure, he didn't kill him. Or did he?
Well, he didn't, but he did.
Oh, he did. Okay. I'm assuming slave uprising.
I am just saying in general.
Yeah, slave
uprising. All the baddies die.
Okay.
All the goodies live. We get to bang Lois in the sky. That's it. Boom. Just exactly the way you thought.
So he went back to Earth in this issue.
Yes.
Okay.
It is just the most. In essence, and I don't mean this bad, but the
wait, did Joe get it right? Did the baby in the jar kill everybody?
The baby in the jar doesn't kill everyone, but the baby in the jar does show back up again. It literally just it basically wraps up all the loose threads. I forgot how many different quests we had been going on with all of our various characters, and it just wraps everyone up. So you've got Natasha and then that other dude who are trying to put the Genesis sphere and restart the sun as a sun that can heal Batman, like give him his powers back.
Right.
They're successful, but the guy that creates it with Natasha sacrifices himself and has a really nice, montage about living for purpose after being a bad guy. Midnighter, of course, has to fight Apollo for a little bit, and then at the last minute, they're able to devise a trick where they create an illusion where Apollo thinks he's getting attacked by the Justice League, and he's able to rip the mind control thing off, and then they have a little nice make-out session. Yay, I've got my friend back. The dude that's like the big beefy dude who's in love with the girl that has like a symbiote, they find a way to rip the symbiote off. They're like, we're all happy now, yay. Mongol kills one of the kids.
Who squeezes while they who squeezes their partner's neck while they kiss? Like, do you do that?
You don't?
No, I don't.
You're like scratching their hair. Okay, well,
that's not scratching. That's squeezing. Scratching is this.
Nah.
All right, continue.
Of all the things to fight me on right now. I mean, that's literally it. It turns out that the dude that betrayed Superman wasn't really betraying him. He just knew that he needed the power in order to kill him. And that's what he does, essentially. Mongol, is like, hey, give me the power from that dude you got last time. And Superman's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Mongol's like, hey, I'm going to kill this little kid. And he's like, you better not. And then he kills the kid. And Superman's like, no, don't kill the kid. And then he stabs him with the power, so it brings the kid back to life. But now they ain't got the power no more. And then the guy that he thought betrayed him, like, somehow gets the power for just a second and stabs Mongol through the chest and, like, rips his heart out. And he's like, now you're dead. And now I'm the leader of Warworld. And we're gonna make it for the name of the Phalosians, and everything's good. Now slaves aren't slaves anymore, and everyone's free. All of the authority is alive and well, and yay, all good. Superman's back to being Superman strength again. It was all very cohesive, very easy to follow. It just, like, I know I'm rambling about it a little bit, but like it was very cohesive, very easy to follow, made sense. All of the things that made this book really difficult were pretty much left out of this book. I found one bubble, let me see if I can find it real quick, that like was a really good example of why this book was so difficult. And here's our baby getting utilized as a weapon. And he's like, don't you do this. And he's like, I'm gonna burn you to death. Boom. And he burns that guy to death. It's great.
Such a fever pitch of a review.
I literally don't know how else to review things.
No. It's fine. What it tells me is the book is just like all over the place.
Yeah. So here's a perfect example. Natasha Irons and that other dude, Leonath, they go to the area where they're going to put the Genesis reactor in, and he literally says, there it is, the seed the sun was born from. Once you replace it with your Genesis reactor, the sun will be nourished by the blood of the god of the first world, and we can get no nearer to the synthesis chamber of this. The darling will have to survive. What the goddamn fuck are you saying?
Huh?
I mean, what?
Goddamn.
And it's literally, that's the only bubble in this whole issue that's like that. But the majority of this book has been like that, and that's why it's been so confusing. It's like Philip Kennedy Johnson's like, yo, we're creating a whole new mythos that is going to feel like it's been around for 10 years, but it's only been around for 10 issues, and you better keep up because I'm not explaining shit to you. He did that in Last God? It worked perfectly because there was tons of backups and like really cool stories, and like he kind of repeated himself, and so it started to sink in. Didn't here. And so luckily none of that stuff besides that one bubble is in this issue.
All right.
So yeah, it's Superman, right? He can't be bad. Like, he can't be everyone dies and, well, I guess the world's not blown up, but a lot of people died and I didn't really win.
I would read that.
Superman doesn't do that. And so it ends with basically Ken Lux or whatever, the guy that deceived Superman, but then turns out he was good the whole time. The leader of the Phalosians now. He is starting to call up the planets, the Federation of Worlds or whatever that we saw in Green Lantern. And he's basically calling up the individual planets who's like, hey, you remember the Phalosians? We begged for help and like asylum from Mongol, and you basically turned against us and used it to gain Mongol's favor. He's like, hey, we still remember, and we're coming for you. And I'm the leader of the entire war zone now.
The beginning of the arc, I remember that, like the League of Planets was called upon, and then like their leader was like, nah, because he was
so that was addressed, and so that dude's like shitting his pants because he's about to get killed, and then literally it ends with Lois sitting at her desk, typing out like a letter to Clark, like, oh, John's so good, and I miss you, and Jimmy Olsen has been helping me write my papers, and then all of a sudden just like zoom, and she's gone, and you're like, that would have literally shattered every bone in her body. Like, absolutely, she'd be dead. She'd literally be a dead pile of goo. But okay. And then the final, of course, the final panel you've probably seen is them in the sky. He's like holding her, and they're making out, and so That's it. Everyone's great. Everyone got kissies in this issue.
Spider fingers, huh? Joe asks, Nate, did they add up the Superman being at Warworld when Dark Crisis started? That's when he's taken in a full Superman suit.
There's literally no talk of Dark Crisis, hints of Dark Crisis, no mention of Dark Crisis. All of this has come and gone. This is all before Dark Crisis. This if you need to find out where this is at in the timeline, this is probably a few-ish months before that last battle of the Justice League.
A few-ish. Yeah, okay. All right. No, you're right. How long has Johnson been on Superman? He's been a minute.
Yeah. Action Comics like 1030, I think, was his first issue. So he's probably 15 issues deep. So yeah, year and a half.
I'm ready for him to jump on Green Lantern. Just saying.
I think he would be probably one of the absolute best people you could put on Green Lantern.
Right.
That or way better, way better, like worlds better would be to just bring N.K. Jemisin in, who wrote Far Sector. Just bring her in and let her do the whole damn thing.
Okay. I'm not arguing.
Yeah.
All right, our last book of the night is our independent book from Boom, and that is House of Slaughter, issue number 8, Scarlet Part 3. And is this going to be a short review?
This is going to be a short review. The last time, issue 7, it was a really short review as well, because I basically was like, fuck are we talking? What are we doing here? I have no, like, what, it just, talk about a fever dream. Like, it just felt like we were just picking words from a board and throwing them on a page.
Right. That continues?
Not as bad. Like, I feel like I understand the very, very surface level idea that they were trying to present here, which is that maybe there is a monster that exists that doesn't just feed on fear. He basically, it literally, this entire issue is a conversation between the main guy and his object. I can't remember what those are called, but you know, his object that like Erica's is her little doll, that little doll that she carries.
Okay.
It's the monster that they capture that they carry around with them.
Right, that's right.
They're familiar. That's what it's. So when his is like a pin or like something like that, and literally it's just an entire conversation between him and his pin, sitting on the boat. That's it, and it's basically like, oh, I wonder if. He's like, you know how monsters are pretty like mindless things and they just feed on fear and they go after fear and that's it? Well, what if there was a dragon in the water beneath us and the dragon doesn't feed on just fear? It's more complex than that, and he can't get his fear as quickly and as easily as all the other monsters, so he's got to figure out how to feed off of other things, other emotions, I guess. Like, it didn't really explain that very well, or I didn't get it. And then he starts having this weird I couldn't tell if it was a premonition or if it was a memory or just a picture version of the point he was trying to make, right? of a monster that's hesitated while killing a human. And then the final page is like him basically saying, wait, what file is this from? Why can't I remember? And I'm like, huh?
I can't remember what you're talking about.
What are we talking about?
Right.
I'm pretty damn disappointed, if I'm being honest.
So,
I'll finish it out, but
okay.
I'll finish it out because this is still something is killing the children. I honestly don't have high hopes for issues 9 and 10, which are the end of this arc. I don't, but maybe it'll get good and I'll understand a little bit better.
Right.
But I will say this is probably the fall of this book in issues 7 and 8 is probably the biggest disappointment I've had in a while on any comic. Just like, 4 issues of Something's Killing the Children that are just literal all 100s, and then the first 6 issues of this are like 95s. I was pretty disappointed that we're falling so far,
right?
So far off. Like it almost to me, and again, who the hell am I? I probably know nothing. But what it truly feels like is that Tinian is so goddamn overwhelmed with everything that he has going on that he got to this book and it's just like he's probably like hasn't slept in 24 hours. That's the text is due tomorrow at 8 a.m. and he's just going, oh, fuck, gotta go. I don't know what this means, but we'll figure it out later. And I don't even know who's writing more between him and Johns. So from what I heard from interviews in the first volume of House of Slaughter, that was very much the other writer, and Tinian was like, hey, I'm just here to sort of corral you. I even think the other writer's name was printed before Tinian's. And then from this book, what I understand, Tinian has much more of he's basically doing more of the formatting and writing, and the other guys just sort of help.
Yeah. Okay.
Could be totally wrong. I don't know.
All right. See what happens. All right, Joe has a end of the show question, which I absolutely 100% appreciative. Joe, you kick ass. The random question is, you guys said your goal is to open a comic book store, if my memory is correct. So question is, what comics run or event would you guys suggest to a new reader? I will tell you right now, I can't pick one. But if I had to pick my top, let's say top 5, right? And unfortunately, I do. No. Okay, I was gonna say I wouldn't have any DC, but I do have some DC. So from what I have read currently, for DC, it would be Robin and Batman, right? From what was that? 3-issue.
It's the same creators. That's who is that? Jeff Lemire and Wynn, right?
Yep.
I can't read. It's too dark here. I can't.
Yeah, Jeff Lemire's Robin and Batman from DC. Independent, it would be Ultra Mega, Chicken Devil, it's not over yet, but I'm almost certain I will tell anybody to read it, and that is Do a Power Bomb. And then from Marvel, it would be Donny Cates and Trad Moore's Silver Surfer Black. Obviously, Jonathan Hickman's Hoxpox. And probably Donny Cates's... No. Sorry. I would say... I already put Donny Cates in there. Danny Warren Johnson's Beta Ray Bill.
So, before you started, as I was thinking of it more as like genres.
Oh, yeah.
So if it was, I would just ask them. I would say, hey, if you're, what do you normally like to read, comic book or book wise? They said fantasy. I would suggest Wind to them. Or if they said horror, obviously Something is Killing the Children. If they couldn't pick between fantasy and horror, I would suggest The Last God, Philip Kennedy Johnson and Federici. If they said, I had another one. Damn it.
If they said X-Men, I would immediately obviously say Hickman's X-Men. Like, if they knew of X-Men, right? Like, they knew the general continuity of X-Men, and they were like, give me something new. Without a blink of an eye, I'd say Hoxpox. Just because when I remember reading that, and I think it's issue 3 of House of X. Because Powers is where they jump into the future. So House of X, when the team went up to the base around the sun, the forge or whatever, and they completed the mission, but they all fucking died. Like, I remember I finished that issue and I called you and I was like, dude, what the fuck, right? Like, what? And then the next issue, they're all coming back to life and you're like, this is the best thing I've ever read in my fucking life. Like, it was just so cool. Secret Wars was the same way. It was Hickman. Like, his Secret Wars run is so good.
Yeah, you need a little bit of understanding to do Secret Wars though.
I know.
And if they're like just brand new, yeah, like
no way I wouldn't give Secret Wars.
if I had to pick like just a Marvel, like if someone's like, hey, I want a Marvel, or like I want to start with a character, Jason Aaron's Thor I know is a very common one, but it's to me it's still, man, I don't know. It's to me it's undoubtedly the best Thor run so far. It might be one of the best like ways to introduce you to a character though. Like I didn't know shit about Thor outside of the movies when I read that, and I don't feel like you needed to at all.
Right.
And plus, I mean, it's Assad Ribic, man. Like, I don't know. Assad Ribic and Federici, I think those are like, you start with those, and almost be like spoiling yourself though, because you do that, then you're like, oh man, all right, Spider-Man, I'm gonna go pick up a Spider-Man real quick, and then you see JR, and you're like,
it's trash.
Hey, what's happening?
Like, and that I think to me that's the other thing is like, you know, we technically missed out on a lot of those books. Like we either bought them back in collections or we bought the singles back then, right? And I feel like right now, currently, we're kind of missing that one book that's just like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Like it just completely blows everything out of the water. And I mainly say that for Marvel and DC. I feel like independently we've got some books that are just really kicking some major ass.
Yeah,
I think
we've got probably 4.
Yeah. So I guess this wasn't really the intent of the question, but I guess to me what that tells me is that Marvel and DC need to kind of get out of this slump a little bit, you know? Like whether it's because writers are taking a break or you're just not putting the right artist on the right book, get with it. Let's get back to it, because like I'm kind of missing that, right? Like when we started, we kind of were like at the tail end of it when, you know, Thor was going on with Donny Cates jumping on it, and who was the main artist on Thor? What's his name?
On Donny's Thor?
Yeah.
Nick Klein?
Yeah, Nick Klein. Like, you know, when we got on that, we were like, dude, this is what comics are? You know, like it was just like a 1-2 punch, and it seems like it's kind of declined a little bit. So let's get back to it. I think that's, for some reason, it's morphed into that. But Rich, welcome. We're about to end, but we are so glad you were here. Thank you for coming by. Patty, I found a lot of people that grew up with X-Men does not like that they are part of deviants. Makes them being natural, different being tarnished. Y'all feel that way? No, not really. Patty, I have people's books like Amazing Fantasy that different writers and some with different styles and such, and people kind of pick who they like as creative, but it doesn't always work. We need more anthology books from Marvel and DC, something to let the creators go wild and have more fresh tales. You know what? You're absolutely right. Because when Donnie, you know, that's kind of what Donnie was doing prior, right? Like he did the Death of the Inhumans, he did his Thanos Wins run, he did Silver Surfer Black, and then after all that, he's like, and now I'm jumping into Venom, and then like started a main book, which there was nothing wrong with that run. But you're right. Like he had these minis that were just so kick ass and so vibrant and outlandish. And Daniel Warren Johnson does the same thing. I mean, his Beta Ray Bill run was just fucking awesome, you know, and we want more. I guess that's the way to go, even though we complain about it all the time with like Valkyrie, you know, like we get minis and minis and minis, but we're still getting minis, right? So we can continue that story just with less consistency, which kind of sucks, but at least we get them, right? I guess that's a better way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So I like DC's Black Label. That kind of works good, and some things can bleed in if done properly. Oh, I see that, Patty.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be the whole, or like the thing that holds Marvel and DC back from being what I would consider the creme de la creme of comics, is that the writers and creators are always having to play within a box, right? There's no box that is keeping Tinian confined in Something Is Killing the Children or Wind. There's no box that kept Philip Kennedy Johnson confined in The Last God. And I think that's why when you asked that question, the first thing I thought of was 4 creator-owned projects, was because, sure, there are some really, really, really great Marvel and DC runs that are just so much better than superhero comics, right? Like the story they tell is just genuinely good. But I think when you're confined to that box, it really doesn't give you enough room to be better than creator of comics, at least in my mind.
Yeah, and Patty says this really well too. Hey, Jaden, what up, dude? No worries, man. No worries. We're just glad you're here. Patty says, I know people who won't read some books because they're scared of the whole story and they want a YouTube Shorts equivalent in comics. I totally get that.
That kept me away from comics for 15 years. About that long. I had a friend in high school that was super into comics that he liked some DC stuff. He gave me the Killing Joke to read, but like his favorite stuff, and this was 2004 to 2008, so keep that in mind. But like he was giving me like 100 Bullets and Sin City, and these creator-owned comics even back then that he was just like, it's more than just Superman and Batman. And he was obsessed with Superman, but he was like, it's more than that. And so I couldn't do it. I read all of Sin City. I read most of 100 Bullets. Like I ate it up then, but I never really followed it up because most of the things I saw were superhero comics. And I was just like, I have a literal history degree. I'm obsessed with knowing what came first, everything, what came before. Right. And so, it was so hard to get over that. And I think both of them could do a better job at, I think kind of you the one that said that earlier, making charts or something. Just making it easier. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Joe also says Marvel has the What If comic line. Maybe it'd be nice if they could do more. I mean, they started with, Chip Zdarsky did that Spider-Man.
Yeah, but they never did anything else with it.
They never did anything else with it. So maybe they will. Maybe they're building up a line, and maybe in 2023, when season 2 of What If comes out, they maybe they'll go down that route, which I would be really happy with. Because, yeah, I agree. More What If stories. A specific. I mean, obviously, with us going through the actual multiverse saga within the MCU, I think that's perfect. Like that would be perfect timing to do like a an 8-line, 8 comic line of What If books. I think would be really, really badass. So you never know. Maybe they will. Maybe we need to start, hitting up Twitter and just like, Marvel, more What If. Give us some What If books. Give Donny Cates and Al Ewing. I think Al Ewing with the What If would be primo. I think any of them. I think any writer of them. And then, put some top tier talent on there. No Junior, please. No. Anyway, Joe, thank you for the question. We much appreciate it. That's going to do it for issue 103 or episode 103 of Two Fat Guys Pull Us. As always, guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, give us a like if you're watching this currently or as a past episode. Let's hit that 750 subscriber mark. We can do it. As for next week, currently we will not have a show this Sunday. There will be a new comic book day video, but it's kind of leaning towards we're not going to have a show next Sunday because I will be on vacation. But you never know. I mean, I might decide to load up my laptop with the entire show, and I'll broadcast from the beach. But we'll see. I kind of want to take a vacation.
If you're a Twitter user or if you're curious, keep an eye on Twitter too. We'll keep an update there, and I might just do some bullshit on Twitter. Right. If you decide to chill.
Nate can do it solo if he'd like to, but he'd have to do some finagling on his computer.
We'll talk about that post show.
Right. What? Rich is going to be at the Buccaneers game.
Damn. Wait, you mean Rich? You worded that weird.
What? Why is that weird?
Because it's the Cowboys game, okay? It's not
he worded that weird.
It's the Cowboys game. It's going to be Cowboys W. All right? I don't know why we're calling it the Buccaneers game. Rich, I'm pretty sure you're a Tampa Bay fan in general, though, aren't you? Like Rays as well. I'll hold it against you, but just a little bit.
Patty says, have a great one, guys. Gotta be kind, rewind, and catch the other reviews. First half hour, vacation is a vacation, do it up. And now I gotta make a Twitter account. Damn. I mean,
you don't have to. You can just type in Two Fat Guys Twitter, you can still see it. So.
I think that's what we'll do. I think I'll relay my pick of the week to you, because you have access to our Twitter account, and we'll do a quick She-Hulk review also on Twitter, and that's how we'll do episode. Well, we'll push 104 to the next Sunday, but I think we're just not gonna have a show next week. But Rich says he graduated high school in Tampa, so he's
all right. Fine. Where have you lived the most?
Ooh.
That's another thing. As if that really matters.
And why is every time this is the second time our show has become like an NFL? We're just gonna talk about football at the end of the show.
Patty, I saw that too. I thought that was pretty funny. A beer making like video game.
What?
Yeah, I think it's like a mobile game or something. But
we should check that out. Anyway, guys, make sure to keep an eye out, and maybe you can do it better on the game.
There's no way.
No. Make sure to keep an eye out this Tuesday for New Comic Book Day, where we will, obviously talk about our massive pull list next week. That video will be coming out at 4:30 Central Standard Time, 4:30 p.m. on Tuesday. So, as always, guys, read more comics.
Wait. I'm sorry. Am I that shitty of a Cowboys fan? Is the Cowboys-Bucks game this upcoming Sunday?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. We're not doing no show. What are you talking about? We're definitely not doing the show. Look for some tweets on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. As I'm reading, I'll be like, yo, what the fuck? This book is shit. Or, yo, this is great. But no, we're not doing a show on Sunday.
Well, we're not, because I'm going to be at the beach, dude.
No, we wouldn't be anyway, so it's a good thing you're at the beach.
No, we would, because this is how the show would have been if I hadn't been on vacation. We would be on the show, and then Nate would be literally like, just look over here, look this way. Yeah, and you'd be watching the game as I was doing the reviews, and they'd be like, yeah, it was a good book. No, it was really good. Anyway, guys, oh my god, I'm totally distracted. As always, fam, be kind to one another and read more comics. We'll catch you guys in a couple Sundays. Right? Bye, guys. Bye. PS5 only? What is that? What's that mean?
Oh, dude, the video game. Maybe
It's only. Oh, that's lame. Pizza and beer with wings. And my pull list. Nice. People here in Ontario, people are here like Boston because more players are from Canada, and sometimes our teams are mainly American. Interesting. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.